Hey there, YouTube. This is Matt Fairclough. I'm here with my friend David Greene. What's up, man?
What's up, guys?
How you doing? So, David is also a fellow podcast, member for Bigger Pockets, like I've been, and we're here at a conference, and we got to talking. And David is, like some of you folks watching, has a full-time day job, but also invests in real estate. And it's an interesting question because a lot of people have come to me, David, through BP, as they probably come to you too. And through my YouTube channel to ask questions like, how can I invest in real estate yet still be active? Maybe they don't have the, they need things like their benefits for their job. They need some reason or another, whether it's the money or the benefits or something. Maybe they just love what they do. They want to keep the job, but want to be invest in real estate. So one way to do that is to be a passive investor, just to take the extra income you're earning in IRA and cash and put it in somebody else's deal. But you are an active investor while you have your full-time job, right? So how do you make that happen?
All right, so I would say that the biggest difference between being a passive investor and an active investor is that passive investors they never learned real estate. They learned enough about it to understand they can make them money, but they didn't learn enough to actually get dangerous and be able to do anything, okay? And the price they pay is they're going to get smaller returns for the deals that they're doing because the guy who learned it is the one that makes the money. If you put the time in the beginning to learning real estate, learning the fundamentals of it, learning how it works, and learning how to make it work for you, you shouldn't be giving that money away to somebody else. Right. You should be keeping that equity. You should be keeping that cash flow. You should be building your net worth yourself. Yeah. I would say that having a full-time job and being a real estate investor is one of the most awesome marriages you can have. It's like peanut butter and jelly. You have a full-time job, you're making money, you have money to put into real estate, you don't have to give away parts of the deal, you don't have to give away equity in the deal, you don't have to be limited in what kind of deals you can do because you don't have money at that time. Right. It also is a lot easier to qualify for the best kind of financing, which is your residential Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac loans, because you have W-2 income. The people who are giving away their money to someone else are the people who haven't taken the time to learn how it works and to make it for themselves. Real estate is an asset class that can make you a lot of money with a little bit of your own time put into it. It fits in perfectly having a full-time job.
So how did you learn? Because I totally agree with you. The passive investors have learned just enough. Maybe they read a few books. Maybe they just heard online. Maybe they're just sick and tired of Wall Street, whatever it is. But they're looking for alternative returns on their money, right? So I agree with you. But you got educated somehow in the real estate space. You can be an active operator in real estate. So before we get into more logistics, how did you get educated on it?
So I bought my first rental property not knowing really what I was doing, and I made a bunch of mistakes, and I turned to resources like Rental Property for Dummies, where I reached out to the one guy I knew who kind of owned properties, and he helped me a little bit out. My big strides came when I got on biggerpockets.com and I started looking up specific questions, answers I didn't know, and finding blog posts that addressed it. The next big aha moment that I had was in finding people who specialize in the thing I needed done. Yeah. A big turning point for me was I went to go change the doors on a house that I got new tenants on, and it took me about 6 hours and 4 trips to Home Depot to get the right tools and the right things, and I hated it, right? And I realized that I could have gone to work that day and made whatever my wage would have been. Instead, I wanted to save $45 on not sending a guy out, and I realized...
You stuck in it and got it done.
I got it done, but I realized if I would have hired someone to do this that was good at putting in door handles, I could have gone to work and made 5 times as much money as I saved.
Wow.
Right? So at that point, I realized the highest and best use of my time was in going to earn money and then paying the guy who was good at putting in door handles who could come do it in half an hour and be on to the next house.
It's interesting. So it's a comparison of what you could make in that day job versus you working somehow in the business. So it kind of creates that happy marriage. So some logistics on like how are you handling tenant calls and deals that pop up or whatever. Because sometimes deals you got to jump on them right then, right? Yep. So with operating your day job, how are you able to maintain that real estate flow?
So it's funny you say that. You and I are here at this Go Abundance conference in Whistler, right?
Right.
About an hour ago, I stepped outside to grab a piece of water. I looked at my phone and I had a text from my agent. He said, "Hey, David, we got a deal," right? He gave me all the numbers because I trained him to tell me what I want. I want you to tell me the ARV. I want you to tell me what you think the rehab cost will be, and I want you to tell me what we can get it for. In this case, he had a house that he said we could get for $85,000. It was a short sale that he had just got approval on. The ARV was $150 to $155, and I wasn't sure exactly on the rehab, but I had seen enough of the house to know that it wasn't going to be that bad. That was enough for me because I understand real estate to know this is a great deal and I should put it under contract.
Yeah.
Using electronic DocuSign or other systems like that, it literally takes you maybe a minute and a half. I drank my water, I filled out the contract, and I was back in the contract.
It sounds like you've implemented a lot of systems and processes that allow you to operate the business with efficiency enough to where you can get that text message. It looks good.
Yes,
some systems and processes I heard is that you trained your agent this is what I like. These are my parameters. Anything outside of that, don't even bother me. DocuSign, another great thing. You have to go and print out this stuff, right? Any other systems or processes you use that allow you to operate a real estate business that our viewers might be able to pick up on when running a day job while they're investing?
Yeah, absolutely, right?
Yeah.
So my contractor, when I send him to the house, I send him the text message with this house's address. He's going to get it when he wakes up tomorrow. He's going to go by and he knows exactly how I want the contract to look. It's going to be itemized with a list of everything that he thinks needs to be done, and at the end I can see the total. It takes me 10 seconds to look at that contract to know if this is something I should move forward with or not. My contractor, rather than give me a lump sum and then I have to get on the phone with him and we have to walk through the house together maybe and look at every single little thing he wants to do, that would take a lot of time. He gives it to me in the way that I want, that my brain can analyze it very quickly and know if this is a yes or a no. Yeah. That's important, especially when you have a job, because time is a factor you need to put into this. You need to make it efficient, and you can make it efficient. This is one of the easiest businesses to make efficient if you take the time on the front end to learn how it works and to teach the people that you're dealing with to give you the information in the way that you want it.
Yep. That's great, because it allows you to be just that much more efficient. That you have to have those conversations. You can just yes, no, left, right. Okay, great. So, any other tips you want to give people that are really just chomping at the bit to get out of their day, or not get out of day jobs, but just start investing in real estate and know enough that they want to operate themselves? Any other tips you got?
Yeah, you want to keep educating yourself, but most people educate themselves too much. Most people who are on Bigger Pockets know enough to go out there and buy a house, and they're just afraid to. What I would say is, if you're questioning whether you know enough or you're ready to do this, but you think that you may be, email a guy like Matt, email someone like me, email someone that you know that buys these houses, and just say, these are my numbers, this is what I'm looking at, what should I do? Give it to us in a way that we can either say yes or no, and this is why, very quickly. If your deal is good, it doesn't take very long for us to look at it and say, yes, you should do it. Let that be what gives you the little boost of confidence that you need to go forward and put that house under contract. And I guarantee you, just about everyone I've ever known, after they buy that first house that they were so scared of, realizes they were overthinking and it wasn't that bad.
Yeah, absolutely. So, hey, great talking to you. So, if people want to hear more about what you're up to, how do they get a hold of you?
All right, you can email me at david@greenincome.com. I also have a website, greenincome.com. There's an E at the end of Greene. You can log on there. You can see any podcast appearances I've been on, any articles I've written, and you can see every deal that I'm doing. I pretty much show all the pictures, all the numbers, how I found it, how I rehabbed it, what it cost, what my ROI is, so that you can walk through it as if you had bought it yourself and see exactly how I ended up where I did and not have to make those mistakes on your own.
I'm going to have to check that out, too. That seems Greene. That's Greene with an E, income.com.
You got it.
Cool. Check that website out, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you got questions for me or David, leave a comment below, and I always appreciate your feedback. So thanks, guys, and have a great and profitable week.